why don't you have lunch with me more often? Sometimes people ask me why I pause like between sentences, and I think it's just clicked. Well, first and foremost, ADHD for sure would have to play a role. But I think in that instance, you can kind of like take the conversation, you can take the sentence in a completely different direction. I can't remember what I said, but I think that's why I do it as well. So, it's Wednesday, time for Wednesday Waffle. I'm obviously going to be eating during this, so I apologize, but taking a bit of a different approach. I'm not going to really speak to anyone in particular, so I'm not going to say your name, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to send one Wednesday at Waffle to everyone that's dear to my heart, and I'm also going to chop it up, so this might not even make the cut. This might not even make the cut, because we're all running busy lives. We ain't got time for that. We're 2 minutes in, and I've literally said fuck all. And I don't know how quick it's going to be, but I'll cut them down, send them to everyone. If you want to reciprocate, that's fine. If not, all good. I'm a big pauser in my sentences. You could look at it a couple of different ways. You could be like, oh, he just talks about himself. But how I like to connect with people is I find it sometimes easy like sharing stuff about yourself and elicit a response rather than like asking a question. But that's just me. So now that we've got that intro out of the way, I took some personal leave. Everything's all good. The short version is getting some separation from work emotionally. I was pretty confident that I was gonna bail. Yeah, I think it's just made it a bit easier. Creating a bit of a break, getting a wriggle on with my resume, looking for some jobs. So it's a bit scary. Don't have maybe as much of a financial backing as I would like after Europe, but here we are. So I'm due to go back to work next week. Done a bit of travel. Went up to Goulburn River, Murchison, did some camping with Megan. All right, we're back. Had to do a funky thing with Google Pixel. I love my liquids. 2 is bare minimum, but like when you're really feeling it, 3 liquids. Oof, that is like a soda water, coffee, it's kind of a given. Yeah, and then alcohol. Looking a bit fat looking down there, but fuck it. Obviously didn't come prepared for this video. I was just going to show you a little pup though, because he's having a little nap. There's a little boy having a little nap next to him. Oh, there's a little boy. He's so gorgeous. So yeah, what's been happening in my world? So yeah, I took some leave. We went camping. Actually, I never get infected, but I was like picking up a big piece of wood. Anyway, it caught me on the back of the leg. I say cut, but Megan quite rightly corrected me and said scratch. But it was a pretty nasty scratch. I thought nothing of it, other than, yeah, like it was bleeding a fair bit. It didn't hurt for a long while, you know, like it was just a typical scratch. So, and I never get infections. And then, sure enough, maybe close to 2 weeks later, I'm like, it's muscle sore, like deep sore. Quite red. The wound hadn't even, like the scratch itself hadn't even really healed properly. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, body? I was a bit like frustrated at this point. And what usually happens, like, yeah, could get scratches in the most disgusting of places, like overseas, whatever, like it just never had an issue. And so I went and found the brown stuff, tried to find stuff in the house that was going to sting. I wanted that stinging feeling to know that it was going to help or do something better. And I was going to the doctor anyway, so then I asked him for some antibiotics, and he was like, yeah, you should definitely get that sorted. And then we went and played tennis when we were away, and I don't remember any incident, but could just be a sign of getting old, because I think it was the next day after we'd played tennis, my knee just like blew up, and it's the same leg. And so there's jury's still out as to whether it was the cut that got infected that's then caused the swelling of the joint, or whether I've just done something random to my knee, like meniscus or something, that's caused it to blow up. So that's been a little bit annoying. I've tried doing a bit of work, a few workouts and things at home, and it's starting to come good. But yeah, I've had like anti-inflammatories, antibiotics, and then the usual suspects going on. Yeah, it's not really sore underneath anymore, which is great. And yeah, been planning for work. It's funny, yeah, that we went up to Goulburn Way and then got back and found like a job up that way. So that was pretty excited about applying for that job. it's just the risk you got to take sometimes. But will get me out and about and get me in community. It's up Goulburn Way, and it's just like a tourism type government funded organization just to get more people up there in community, and obviously like helping support local business, cafes, restaurants, retail, etc. And so it's just a marketing role to help promote the region. And a couple of Megan's friends, they got young kids now. They've either just had babies or about to. Yeah, it's interesting. It's a part of life. It's just, it's interesting that we've taken a different path, I'd say, and sitting back and going like we've definitely chosen the right path for us, which is good. But it certainly comes with some considerations for the fact that realizing that your friends grow apart a little bit. So it's a little bit sad seeing, I think, Megan coming to that realization that some of her friends will be distant for a period of time, but we're still catching up with a few, and in particular, like the few that even though it's their first, you can really see the different parenting attitudes coming out, and like the ones that really see it as a opportunity to kind of change their lifestyle, which is fine if that's what they want to do. And then the others that are like very much like, don't give a fuck whether this baby's on the way. This is my lifestyle and this is how I want to live my life, and the baby's just going to have to sort that out. And it's been, I think, a nice balance of catching up with a few people, letting them know that we don't hate kids, because we certainly don't. We won't jump at the opportunity to play with kids, including our niece and nephew. So Megan's got a nephew, I've got a little niece, a couple of years apart now, I think. And they're both up northern suburbs or whatnot, so I'm not going to be seeing them weekly, that's for sure. Maybe monthly would be a nice goal. Letting that play out, seeing some friends. Oop. My big thumb just got in the way, sorry about that. Almost finished me Arvo coffee. Got to take the bins in, or one bin. I've already taken one in. You know, it's a good day when you're like waiting for the garbo to do the bin so you can go and grab it. I literally never do that, as in I'm usually nowhere near that organised. Neighbours must hate me because it's got a little broken wheel, and it's like, when you're dragging a bin with a broken wheel, and it's like boop, 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 boop. I do that all the way down the driveway. What was I going to say? I've bloody lost it. I bloody lost my train of thought. Oh, I said I was going to talk about this. So, this is a fake tattoo. It must be pretty good though. I don't know. It's probably not very good if you get close up. Because I played golf with a mate who might also get this video too. And he didn't ask me about it. So, it makes me think that he thought it was real. But it's not real, which is lame. And when he invited me to golf, I was like tempted to text him and saying like, oh, is anyone else coming to golf? Because then I'll have to hide my fake tattoo. But I ended up just not saying anything. And I'm not all that self-conscious about it anyway, just pretending. Because I've wanted to get a sleeve for a long time. And so I'm real brave. And I want to get a sleeve at some point. So I'm just getting ideas. But then more importantly, Megan is not a big fan. And so it's getting her to come around to the idea that it's not the end of the world if I got a sleeve. They last a while. Like, they literally stain your skin for a couple of weeks. And so I bought a few of those just to get an idea. And I really love this one. Probably can't see too good, but anyway, it like goes around, it stops there you go. Stops halfway there. Yeah, I like it so much that I'm tempted to at least get a quote, like go down to tattoo artist Frankston. There's quite a few, as you can imagine. Yeah, at least find out how much it's going to cost. But I like the meaning probably more than the tattoo itself. I'm quite spontaneous, so like if it was within budget, maybe I'd just go ahead and do it. But yeah, these are the little things that get to me, you know. But I'm putting thought into it. You can't say it was just an overnight brash decision. That's me, I think, in a nutshell. There's a few other things going on, but I do want to do this a bit more regularly. I was doing it individually. That was just too hard to manage. I don't even have that many friends. I literally got like, I could count them on hand. I want to do it weekly. Doesn't have to be reciprocated because I understand people are busy. Even if it's just acknowledged, I think that would be cool. And it's just about staying in touch and talking through like shit, just the most random of shit. It's a waffle. Wednesday waffle. So I'd really love to receive one. You can keep it brief, or you can do what I've done. I've recorded like over lunch and stuff, probably like 20 minutes worth. So let's see how much I can cut this down by. Give you the highlights. But honestly, this is me. Like, I love my space, doing my own thing. And then, so I'm always stuck in 2 months because I'm like, I want to stay in touch with these people. These people, my mates, let them know that I love them. I want them in my life. But yeah, at times I'm like, no, I obviously don't love them enough but that's not true. Like, yeah, want people in my life greatly, but there's no two ways about it. I'm introverted and I've really come to terms with that and I feel great about it. And I spend a heap of time at home doing my own thing, watching footy, hanging out with the dog. But yeah, any chance that Megan gets, she's off, out the door, catching up with friends. And yeah, I look at that and I'm like, I want that, but I don't want that. And so I've decided to see if I can find a means for keeping in touch with people that goes beyond the occasional reel that you might have received. And hopefully you can reciprocate and share a little bit about you. If it doesn't elicit a response at all, I think that's fine too. And would I keep sending it to someone if like I wasn't getting anything back, like crickets? Probably not. So love you. You don't have to slice it up and do this. You can just do a little check-in. Tell me what you've been up to. That would be nice. Peace. That one. That's the old Harley Reid. That's lame. That's rude. That's okay. That's peace. Just in case you weren't sure. This is, and also the bird. In case you didn't know that one. I won't say his name because he might be excited that we're playing. Back to the grind. I've got some other updates that I want to share too, but next time.